and let us all do we can to build a better future.
Anyways, you got a story for people. You got a story for people. What is going on?
Well, if May was Mental Health Awareness Month, June is Pride Month.
Oh, you know what that means?
Oh, I certainly do. It means we're about to see a lot of corporations with rainbow flags on everything.
Yay.
We're inclusive.
Pandering.
So there's lots and lots of memes about this right now. So this is one that I wanted to bring up just because I find it amusing to my millennial standpoint. So what inspired you to change your logo to the rainbow flag? Money! It's like, it's obviously the answer to that is money. And I adore that it's Mr. Krabs representing all sorts of corporations. So, you know, I mean, most people, I think, know where Pride Month came from. It started after, a year, officially, it started the year after the Stonewall riots in 1969. So in 1969, the police raided a popular gay bar in New York City on Christopher Street. And then people were, they responded. They were tired of being, abused and put down and just mistreated. So the riots went on for almost a week. And the year after that, they had their first official march. So in the first official march was in 1970 to commemorate what had happened at Stonewall. And, of course, throughout history, the march has changed, and it's sort of become less of a remembrance of trying to rise up against an oppressive force and become a corporate sellout. So
it's literally a shell of what it used to be.
It really is. I mean, it started, and again, this is yet another situation where Black people have been, and Black Indigenous people of color, everybody has been shunted from the main standpoint of where they should be standing. We should be remembering Marsha P. Johnson a little bit better. We should, there's. And Sylvia Rivera, these are the people who, were boots on the ground. They've been instrumental in getting this whole movement started. But, Sylvia Rivera was Latina and Marsha P. Johnson was Black, and both of them were trans, and we don't talk about them as much as we should. And again, it's coming where people are talking about them more than they used to. But these are the people who really instigated a huge movement. And just because if Marsha wasn't at Stonewall on the first day, she was still so instrumental in bringing awareness. And they started STAR, and they started all of these amazing organizations in order to help people. And as time has gone on, and the favor has sort of turned, as things have turned into the favor of the LGBT community, kind of, it's becoming popular to side with that community. And corporations are all jumping on board to support that community for one whole month out of the year. But
it's all for money.
It's all for money. And interestingly,
Money.
well, because they want to make they're like, oh, people like it. They'll come and buy our stuff if we have rainbows on some of it. But interestingly, and I find this to be screaming hypocrisy. So many of these companies that that put their little logos up, they provide funding to anti-LGBT lawmakers. So if we can bring up this one graph, and this graph is interesting, and there should be again a link to it below. You can click on each and every one of those red bars, and it will tell you exactly to whom these companies have given money. So Toyota, you saw, has given lots and lots of money to a lot of people. One of the people that they've given money to is Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott, who recently tried to say that if a parent is allowing any kind of gender-affirming therapy or research into if their kid is trans and they are not calling them by the name or sex of their birth then they are guilty of child abuse. Like he wants, like that Greg Abbott has been given money on. It's, again, like I said, it's screaming hypocrisy. All of these companies have donated to senators and lawmakers and politicians with highly anti-LGBT rhetoric.
Now, I want to tell our audience now, because you're watching this live, you could find the show notes. It's in the description box below. There you can find all our links. But you could let's keep this image up here. But you could share this link. You can go in the show notes. You can open this link that we have. This is story number 4. So please check it out. Now we are going to clip this video and it will be available on Monday. So to anyone that will be watching this on Monday, this is the clip version. You can check out again the show notes to this article in our live stream show. So check it out. That way you can find it and see this information, because we want to share this information with all you people. And so that way you know what's happening here. Because look, you got Toyota, you got AT&T, you got State Farm,
Amazon,
Amazon. Jeff Bezos, you're in here too.
Of course he is.
Jeffy, you bald limp mother effer. What are you doing here? Well, he's no longer in charge of Amazon. To be clear, is he?
Hi.
Yeah, it's whatever. He's trying to send this rocket into space and he can't get it up. So there you go.
So it's, again, and people through, as time has gone on and as this has gotten worse, as corporations and more have started trying to rebrand themselves 1 month out of the year as being incredibly inclusive, people have been starting to call them out on it. A lot of people in the LGBTQ community they're less thrilled about the rainbow washing that has been going on. Like, according to a lot of several reports, you see a straight person, like a heteronormative people, are like, yeah, it's great, woohoo, and then you get LGBTQ people, and they're like, well, it's not great.
As someone who's straight, I see this, and when I see the flags, like on Instagram or Facebook or any of these other corporations, be they tech giants or regular industry or any kind of retail outlet, and you see those rainbows, I'm like, oh, you're pandering.
It's just a little bit of an
pandering. A lot of people,
unless it's there all year round, unless they keep the merch, unless they keep the flag, unless it's there constantly. It's like, and again, and some people from and again, according to certain articles, like some people are like, they see it and they're like, they do feel seen, and it does make them feel good and safe, and so awesome, more power to you. That's kind of originally, I think, what the intent was to make people feel safe and seen, but it's become more and more about just bringing people in to make money. So everybody has their rainbow merch for Pride Month, and of course the prices on that are jacked way up. You've got your some of the proceeds of this are going to go to these LGBTQ charities, and it's like, yeah, maybe some of it will, but not nearly as much as you're making it out to be. Of that jacked up price, and so again, and people have been trying to call out certain corporations for years, Disney, that they're all of their revolutionary. They've had 8 revolutionary first gay characters, 8 of them, and they're always in for it's like. And Disney thinks they're doing so great. They keep patting themselves on the back. It's like, oh, we did great. This character's gay. It's like, okay, you had a split-second kiss. If you're maybe in Star Wars or something, it was a split-second kiss, and it's like, but guess what? They cut it. They cut everything that they do, they cut out as they do it so they can cut it or tweak it a little bit. In Endgame, they had one of the Russos had a line in a support group, and he was on a date with a guy, and then for China they changed it to a business dinner. Like every single thing that they do, it's so easily explained, it's so easily clipped out, and there's, it's obvious. It is obvious to all of us at this point that it's pandering. It's just pretending and putting that mask on and pretending that they give a crap about anybody.
And they don't.
They don't. And that's the reason that July 1st rolls around and everything is gone.
No, not everything's gone. Then it becomes American fireworks.
Yep, pretty much.
4th of July.
Yep, everything becomes red, white, and blue instead of ROYGB.
Yeah.
So that's the start of that. And so also companies are only supporting the LGBT community when it suits them. So here's like another fun little side-by-side graphic of Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Cisco, like Lenovo, like Bethesda, all of these. Oh, this is their Twitter handle in America. And then if you look over at some of their Twitter handles, nope, they're not doing anything. So like that's, again, just a little bit more proof that it's not about the LGBTQ community. It is about making money and about showing face and saying, oh, look at what we do. And so there's been several companies who are like, I'm not going to do the rainbow flag thing because, I mean, I feel like my company is inclusive already. We are already doing everything that we can be doing, and we don't need to put a fake face on things. And it's like, I can respect that. So it's like these kind of, companies, and it's more than just these, of course, and it's more the different places, but they are just pretending constantly, just pretending in order to save face. And like Elon Musk tweeted something that he was making fun of companies who do this, but the amount of backlash he got on Twitter of people like being like, Tesla does it, yeah, Elon, you do it too. You can't be like angry.
Yeah, Tesla does it too. Come on, Elon. Come on. I know you can get your rockets into space, but I mean, come on, buddy. Come on. Yeah. Anyways. And
then just there's this a lovely video that PBS did at the end of last year's Pride. So this was 2021, June 30th or something is when this video aired. So it's just a little video, and it kind of explains in a summation. It's a summation of what we've been talking about.
Nope.
Throughout this past month, LGBTQ communities in the U.S. have been celebrating Pride in cities and states around the country. Corporate America has made itself a part of that, too, by increasingly tapping into Pride Month and trying to showcase its efforts to increase diversity and inclusion. But there are concerns that Pride has lost some of its political focus, and important issues are not being addressed. Lisa Desjardins has our conversation.
Judy, companies not only celebrate the month, but actively market around it as well. There's a term for that, rainbow capitalism. Walmart and Target have Pride-related ads. IKEA has Pride-themed love seats. And Capital One Bank has this feel-good, splashy video. But for many LGBTQ individuals, it's hardly good times. Several states, including Florida, have passed new restrictions, including on transgender athletes. Hate crimes remain too frequent. Murders of trans individuals are at a new high. It's leading to questions about the purpose of Pride Month. Karen Thompson is an author and professor of gender and sexuality studies at the University of Southern California. Some people might think corporations are using pride symbols more, people are putting rainbow symbols on their Twitter feeds, and they'd think that's support. But why would you say is it a concern?
Well, I think we must understand that it's a gesture of support, but gestures of support, nice words, visible images of solidarity aren't always enough. And they're often never enough, actually. And so it's not that people are angry that corporations are showing some effort at making a gesture to LGBT communities, but it's like, what backs it up? What is there behind that gesture? Is there anything substantial and material that will actually help transform the worlds that we are in and make it better for us?
We're having this conversation, you and I, right now, because this is the last day of Pride Month. But what is the trade-off there? We see corporations making a big effort during Pride Month, but does it last all year, or how do you think about that?
Well, there are endless memes and Twitter accounts devoted to corporations in the month of June, showing an image of a happy LGBT couple or person, and then corporations on July 1st, which reverts back to exactly the same iconography of straight couples and business as usual. And all we hope is for sustained attention and commitment from these corporations, organizations, and anybody who expresses allyship beyond the month of June into perpetuity on our behalf.
Some corporations that are doing this say we're raising awareness, and in some cases we're raising money. For example, donating some of the sales that they're bringing in from LGBTQ merchandise to causes that are related. I hear you saying you want something substantial. What do you believe that corporate America should be doing?
I think that many of us in the LGBT community are interested in a larger series of systemic changes, policy changes at every level. And, some money towards maybe a popular cause here and there. Sometimes like marriage equality was a kind of mainstream popular cause for a period of time, isn't enough to address the deeper systemic issues that often perpetuate, the oppression of LGBT peoples, especially of color, those who are unhoused, trans people who have violence committed against them, all of the things that actually many Americans are fighting for around systemic equality, the end of white supremacy, et cetera. And I think LGBT folks see that they're part of a broader movement, that we need to make deeper changes to our system, to our culture, in order to have a more just world.
We're now seeing more visible presence, more attention on different parts of the LGBT community, the transgender community, non-binary individuals, meaning people who don't identify strictly as male or female. Can you talk about the tension and the communications surrounding those groups and how they see this movement?
I think that we have to consider whether or not certain groups who've attained certain privileges within that LGBT acronym have to maybe consider abdicating some of their agenda in order to incorporate what would benefit the most folks under that LGBTQ plus acronym, and whether or not there's true inclusion, acceptance, and understanding for trans, non-binary folks and others in the community, those especially who don't share the same privileges and wealth, so that we can achieve and attain a truly transformative change from our perspective.
Important conversations that we will keep following. Karen Thompson at the University of Southern California. Thank you.
Again, it sums it up. And one of the things that she was talking about was making an actual steps towards change. And what can you do for real? So for instance, when Gilead, it's a pharmaceutical company. They sponsored New York's Pride not too long ago. They're a pharma company that produces PrEP, which is something that you can take, and it can reduce the risk of HIV by 90%. It's so much less likely that you're going to get HIV if you are on PrEP. And if you've got insurance, and if you've got a coupon from the pharmaceutical company, it's like a little card. It's then you can get it for free. But if you don't have insurance, it's over $2,000. A pop. And again, she was talking about certain parts of the community that have a much more difficult time getting certain getting those perks. About 25% of the people most of the people who can get PrEP are young white men with good jobs. But then you've got a huge amount of people who cannot get their hands on this potentially life-saving pill that they can't get it because they can't get insurance because of the circumstances in which they grew up. So it's important to make something like that a lot more available. And that's something that could be an actual step that a company could make to show that they actually care 12 months out of the year.
Wow.
Instead of just one.
I would say corporations, you're going to drop the axe at the end of June. We know that they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. This is a way to pander and get money. And I think recently, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but the Marine Corps, an outfit I used to be associated with, I'm going to actually send it to FaZe. I'm going to filibuster here, but I think it's only fair that all of you see this tweet. It's from the Marine Corps, and I'm pulling it up, putting it in the Friday Slack. just so that all of you can see it with yourself. See, the meme has finally become real. The meme is finally reality. And here we go. It's basically the Marine Corps acknowledging Pride Month. And it's hilarious. So here we go. Let's pull it up if we can here. Throughout June, the UCM, the United States Marine Corps, takes pride in recognizing and honoring the contributions of our LGBTQ service members, remain committed to fostering an environment free from discrimination, and defend the values of treating all equally with dignity and respect. Scroll on down. The meme's finally real. Rainbow bullets.
Rainbow bullets.
We did it, folks.
Equal opportunity death strikes.
We did it. The meme is finally real. It's finally real.
Yeah.
There we go. Outstanding work, Lauren. Glad to have you back. All right. We're going to be ending the show and be doing a patron show as well. You're going to find out what Lauren did in Spain on her vacation. That's why she wasn't here. We didn't kick her out like all of you were saying. What's wrong with you? She's back with a vengeance. So there we go.